All right, enough with that. We are back in the shop now. Grab this oil pan right here, and we're gonna move this one over here because we have to get the engine assembly room. What's the word I'm looking for? Self-sufficient or whatever. Get it so that everything that has to do with building this engine is in this area right here. And then we're gonna start the cab lift, get this off, and I need all that stuff gone so that the parts coming off of this truck, you'll see. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'll wait until till we get Cody's done, but before Chris's comes up, I'll keep this oil pan right here and I'm gonna hang it right there on a couple of bolts. I'll just screw a board to here. Just 2x4, heck, it don't matter. Come out to whatever length it needs to be so that we can hang the pan here and then let it touch up against here. And the mating surface and the oil pan will not touch anything. It'll be a wonderful drying spot for it. Look at those. You guys remember that? They're like wonderful for this, for putting rings in. I mean, beyond wonderful. Here we go. I normally do this with a hammer, but it works.
Let me get down here.
Rod bushing, removal. Wow, Molly Mae, that looks great. Did we even show it before? Because it looked like really bad.
So what are we not gonna do from now on?
We're not gonna put the wood in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks too, because the wood is very safe. So.
Well, we'll keep one piece handy to put in there, but it doesn't tell me if the piece on the wood is going to dry.
Okay, so we're gonna start on this right here and I'm gonna get over here. We do have, I wanna get these parts so that they're ready to go on, which could just involve just a simple spray off. It's just a little dirty. Spray them all off and get them ready to go back on. That's all we're gonna do, because this does not need all the work that we normally do. It already had all that work. So degas bottle, stuff like that, spray it, dry it. I'm gonna put the valve cover back on. I think I am. I'm gonna go ahead and put the valve cover back on the truck so that when we're taking it apart, it's at least covered. So we're gonna pull everything loose. We'll re-vacuum this. We did pull out the cab bolts. We'll take them all the way out because he got fluid filled everywhere and they're dirty. This it's got to go on the front up there. So we're gonna pull these bolts out and clean it all up, and then we'll set all the interior back in it loosely, and that'll be good for inside the cab. We can shut the door and be done. So that's our job right now. I got these two bolts out. I got the one to get out on the back. I did use a big impact with an 8mm with a 1-foot-long extension to a big impact to get these 8s out down here. That 8 right there, it goes in. There's one in, that's the, right there. Yeah, big impact, because sometimes those don't come out. Chris's truck is overly nice, so it did come out. So now we can just take this loose and scoot this box over and take this bolt out, scoot it back this way and take that bolt out. So we've got 15/16 on the driver's side and 13/16 on the passenger side. Well, and this is a little surprise. Let's take a look here. What do I think it's gonna go? Look right there. I've already taken it off once, but let's see if I can do it without getting it. Ready? Well, daggum. Manifold was full of fuel. Huh. Yeah, you probably have that when the valve spring breaks. No bill, no compression. Just dumping fuel out. Huh. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what is going on here with this transmission pressure sending unit. Looks like I'm just gonna unthread it out of there and take it off. I do not see a harness, a plug. I mean, I guess I could just leave it in there and cut it. Maybe we'll just cut it, so we can always put it back together later. That way at least we're not disrupting the seal, because obviously it's not leaking here, so I don't really want to take that loose. So we'll just go ahead and do it right back here somewhere. This this stuff underneath all done, evac in the AC now. We're gonna go get something to eat. Evac this, let it go down, and then disconnect your lines while it's under vacuum. It will regenerate. So I'll let it go, it'll back down, kind of do a little leak check. And then when we come back, I'll hit vacuum again on the machine and make it start vacuuming. And while the pump is running, I'll disconnect the lines that we're gonna take apart. And that eliminates any regeneration blowing Freon out all over the place, because it will do that. Julie cleaned up a lot of the dirt. She's still cleaning up dirt. That's about where it's gonna be. Let's carry on. Just come back from lunch. Wonder what Joey's doing down there. He's swinging that F-150 over there, trying to decide if we're actually gonna change the engine. We got a 6.4 turbo, set of precision turbos. Need to put some light up here and getting a little job site moved over. Got another little project here. Yank the turbos off and find out why they're completely seized up on this fancy thing. So we got that little project. Cody showed up with the dryer because the dryer that we have squeaks. And he said, put it right in the middle of the floor. In his natural habitat, under the hood of a mod motor. What are you working on?
Get coil pack and everything put back in. I got that spark plug in there.
I don't know, I guess there's science behind reading spark plugs. What do you guys think? Does that look bad? We pulled it out and we're just dropping a new plug in it, waiting. We got a compression tester coming, so we're gonna check that. But while we're checking that, we already had plugs here. Let's go ahead and drop a plug in and see what happens. Hope for the best.
Oh.
Just dropped all kinds of stuff down in that hole. Oh, I see a little bit of it. Great. That don't sound bad. Got to respond. Hey, button it up. Put the manifolds on. We was putting that engine in this because, well, now we have a 5.4. Anybody need a 5.4? Little runner.
I'll put all new spark plugs in it. We'll button her back up. We're gonna have, oh, you weren't here, were you?
You need to quit cussing so much. You got kids. Jeez Louise. He had the manifolds loose. He got them out. Joey's a little animal here. He got them out. We got new manifolds here though. But I made the suggestion to just tighten the old manifolds back up. Now that the bolts are free, put a couple of them in it. I don't know how many bolts you put in it. How many?
About 4.
Yeah, not many. Just enough to hold it. And now okay, so the engine, heck yeah, the engine can stay. So now we just replace the manifolds and leave the engine. Now what? What are you doing there?
This was the engine coolant temp sensor, or wiring harness, that was down here, but it was not plugged in and it was broke, so we took the one off the Expedition and put it in here, plugged it in right here. But the gauge is still not reading any temp, but the code went away. Well, somebody put this in, because it originally came with a plug there.
The Expedition was plugged. It didn't have nothing in it.
But there's no wiring harness for this.
So we took the wheels off this. The truck is actually in the air right now. Shake it real quick. It's not even, it's up in the air. And he's got it lowered way down with that's about the height that you would have it to work on a Honda Accord, probably. So he's gonna raise it and do manifolds standing up. Love it. Couple of bolts in, look like hammered horse. There's a little bit of life left in that bolt right there.
It rusted.
It rusted?
Right there's a hole in it.
Oh my God. I mean, you don't want to clean those up and put it back on?
No, I think this right here might be the one. I gotta take this fucker out.
Does anybody know, why don't you guys comment, let me know, why do they have the coils in here? What does that do? Because they replaced it. I just
And
dropped the
put no
line up
coil
with
on
no
it.
coil on it. What does it do? Give me all your technical advice.
Doesn't even actually fit on it right.
Does the new manifolds have studs in them?
No.
They should have some studs in the package, hopefully somewhere. Got a freaking hole in it. It's crazy, it's not real black down here. Yeah, got some new. Whoa, are those? Yeah. So they're threaded in here. Yeah. Nice.
So I do need to probably call O'Reilly's and get the exhaust manifold studs.
Oh yeah, get all new bolts, all new fasteners. Oh, that does not look. Except it looks
But I
like
broke
crap
some
on
of
the
them are broke.
outside. I mean, if you got to go get one, get them all.
Yeah, some of them are broke.
That's how I would
like
say.
This one's broke. We're gonna have to weld the nut onto here and get this out.
It's aluminum though, so if you get the manifold off, that nub sticking out right there, the snap-on pipe wrench will get it.
Yeah. Oh, check this out.
Pipe because they're not going to be seized in real hard.
All those came easy. I bought this. I can stuff this.
Oh my
I
God!
can put
Look
one
at
of these
you.
on.
What is this?
Cheap Amazon, but it works good. I've already
Cheap
used this.
Amazon.
One of the manifold bolts were rounded, so I stuck this on, and it came right off.
Nice. Yeah.
It's there's not even any grease left.
It's all dry. This is this truck. What's the story? Tell the story of this truck again. What's the story with this truck?
This guy went up to Blair, Nebraska, and found it sitting by a dumpster at some old dealership. And they were getting ready to haul it to Lincoln to an auction or something. And he wanted it, and they offered this. He bought it from him cheap, I guess.
And he just wants a beater.
Yeah, just a beater to drive around, nothing special, just run decent enough that he can drive it.
And leave it here and not live here. He's not going to live where this is residing. It's just sitting there for like an extra vehicle. Joey's having fun over here. And that is until I get all the stuff set up over in the south shop. And once I get all that set up in the south shop, we're going to be stealing Joey a lot. And there's not going to be a lot of time for these kind of jobs right here. These are going to be super duties. We're just doing this because Joey got bored. 3.14. Check oil bottle. Right on. No. See how much it pulled it down. So we lost a little bit, but it could have been the machine because sometimes mine will do that too. At a recover, it won't hold a hard vacuum. It won't do it until you go back and vacuum it after recovering it. It'll just pull half of that. That's probably good actually. Now that I think about it. Okay.
That. Well, I mean, there's a drip there because we took the hose off, but that maybe could have been leaking a little bit. But we know Chris has been into it. He did injectors when he got it back and a couple other things.
Yeah, and this clamp right here, it needs to be so you can put a foot long on it.
Yeah, can't see it.
That one right there, because you can't reach it. It's in the way. So in order to get that boot off, it's cab off. Let's just look around a little bit. The job that this truck got. I mean, map hose, coolant Y pipe, upper rad hose, lower rad hose. Both the degas hoses. This truck has 30,000 miles on it since it left Grain Valley Super Duty service. Not really much to see. We're gonna take the cab off, but some of this with the cab on. Of course, I've got it all mangled apart and looking like crap, but you know, you get the idea. It was, well, maybe you don't. All the lines are taped up. Yeah. I'm leaving the oil lines. I took this one loose. I took the cap because the cap was normally pretty freaking dirty, but I left the oil fill and wiped it out. I'm gonna leave it up there. We're not gonna be doing washing, power washing and all that. Shop setting all of these radiator hoses, all the hoses on the cooling system, honestly are a one-time use thing. You take that thing loose, okay, they are wonderful the first time you put it on. Like these, I was fighting, every single hose on here was stuck. It was all brand new hoses and there's not a single chance at having any kind of seeping connection because of a hose. Now, in a shop setting, you have to do that and put brand new hoses on every single time you take it apart because you're in a freaking shop. We're actually making it so you can not worry about that line leaking. That line did not have a chance in hell at leaking. It's still stuck on there. I finally got it cracked loose and pulled back a little bit, but it was, I mean, so yeah, try it. Put brand new hoses on, and next time you try to take them off, you know, you'll have to take them off eventually, probably, unless everything else is good, which this one is not. So you might just, never mind.
Ready?
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Again. And we'll watch it until it separates, like right here. Again. One more. Right there. Okay. Now let's strap it. Wait. I need to adjust my lift. I think the chain stretched actually. There we go. Cab off. It's like our paint lasts longer than the BD Manifold's paint did. Yep. Let's just look around kind of close. Okay, so we're taking this cab off. Some of you might have missed it. Here's the reason. I did put the valve covers back on, so we'll spin these bolts out and I'll show you what happened. Actually, we'll relax all of these bungees first and let all the lines just relax down where they're out of the way. Power steering lines always seem to leak. Just drip and drip and drip. Yeah, it's a two-handed job. Dusty, dirty. Let's cover these. I want to cover them right now. So we have already had this apart. Oh. Thoughts in the comments. Any thoughts on that? Could bar it over. We'll get it broke down a little bit more and bar it over and see. We already stuck a bore gauge down in it, bore scope down in it, and it piston's whacked. It's done. So, busted valve spring. Broke valve spring, game over. $2 part. Took, Jesus. That's sad. Looks like we got a box from Goodson. Okay, Goodson. Let's see. Talk to Richard there. And it might be nothing. Yeah. Okay, so we didn't get anything out of,
Well, yet.
no banner or nothing. Just hoping to get a banner out of the deal. We got some press fit lube. Figured I'd try that. That was Jim's Automotive Machine Shop. I figured I'd try that because he said he uses the heck out of it. And this is the 7.3 and 12 valve guide. Combo drill driver. Yep, that would be, that's for 7.3. Now I haven't actually put them in yet to make sure that it works good. CDR 563 CB. We got to a good point today. Went ahead and got some of that stuff cleaned up and out of the way. Got Chris's cab off. Showed you that a valve spring broke over there. Let me know in your comments about that valve spring. Give me your ideas. We're gonna have the cylinder head off. We'll, I mean, even though who's to tell if valve got stuck in the guide. Yeah, I mean, as far as breaking the spring, that's kind of, I mean, if a valve, I don't know, I mean, it's all just gonna have to come to a piece of freaking metal, broke. Now, what could I have done differently? other than not grab that specific valve spring. You guys think of anything? Throw all your ideas in. This is 30,000 miles. This is Subaru service 30,000 miles later. We'll just look around a little bit. All these hoses were ridiculously tight. What is that? Something right there. Look at that when we take it back apart. Look at the BD manifolds. I love the manifolds, actually. They're good. They're nice. It's just kind of weird that their paint didn't hold up nowhere near as good as Subaru Services did. They're still awesome manifolds, though. So that just means we probably should be painting the BD manifolds with the paint that we use. Because, I mean, they were both brand new at the same time. And that's pretty much rusted. They were black when they were new, and all the paint's pretty much gone. So he's got his crankcase vent catch can set up. There's not a lot of oil on stuff. Like, I mean, there's a little back there. You kind of expect it, but it didn't seem like an overly amount. Oh, the transmission dipstick tube after the last video. This truck is the one expensive 6.0 build. This is it 30,000 miles later. That's what we're going to be taking apart. And really everything has been, look at the parts. I mean, everything is already on the shelf. You know, those are on the shelf, clean. I do take a lot of the clamps off. Bolts, I mean, the bolts are already painted. They've already been painted. They're, I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. What would you guys do on exhaust manifold bolts? Because, I mean, yeah, replace them. I would normally replace them. What do you think? Like hardware for the up pipe, for the Y pipe and the up pipe. I mean, we won't even separate this one. That's done. That's good to go. I guess that's where I'll start tomorrow. I'll start getting the turbo off and Y pipe and dig the front end off, dig all this off, get the intake off, and then we're gonna get this cylinder head off and assess the engine block. And then hopefully when we get to that point, we'll have everything tidied up. Then the rod hone will be here, which I got a little bit of work on the head anyways. So as soon as we get the head off, I'm gonna rush right over there, get it. We're gonna just disassemble it and get it over here and run it through the machine, run it through the shop, figure out what it needs. Hopefully it didn't do much with the deck surface. I don't know. I mean, in the cylinder, it doesn't really matter that much because, you know, there's no gasket sealing going on there, which it'll probably be fine. You know, we'll just have to clean it, which I would really, okay. And if you watch the expensive 6.0 build video, you'll see that I was very, very questionable on, I said that, Chris, we're pushing the limits of head gaskets. I said that a couple times when we built this, when we did this engine. And here we are 30,000 miles and head gaskets are good. We did not O-ring the heads and they're good. So I would, in a perfect world, pull the glow plugs out of this side and that way we can look without having to buy injector O-rings, potentially. I mean, not that it really matters. But pull the glow plugs out and then we'll look in the cylinders, make sure no trash came from the other side because there's big witness mark, big. Well, we'll see. I think we looked on the bore scope. So my idea, I mean, I would really like to see this cylinder head not come off. I mean, it's just going to be, we can look in there. There's no use in breaking that seal right there. It's been tested. It's been true. It's good. That head gasket is holding. We're going to see what a good head gasket looks like after 30,000 miles when we take this off too. These are Felpros, I'm sure. I'm sure they're Felpros. Yeah, so we'll break it down more tomorrow. Have a good day, guys.